and then, of course, I'm going to go over to you guys to see the Octoberfest in Glenville. So tell me a little bit about what your plans are. You were on before, and we talked about plans coming up, and with you, you brought Valerie Garcia, right?
Yep.
And she was on, and we talked about that as well. But tell me about what you've got now, because I've heard about the German food. Actually, I was talking to Jan, and she's telling me that they're getting ready for that German food.
I think they're starting to peel the potatoes. I think they
Yeah,
go
I
through
think
500
500 pounds.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Since we saw you last with Valerie there from Capcom, Capcom's our big title sponsor this year.
Yeah, and she was lovely, and it's funny because I saw her in an ad even on. I was on the computer and she popped up for a Capcom.
Yep, she's on the billboards in
Yeah.
Glenville. So yeah, we're really excited. We've had to as I think I told you last time, we're being very careful on COVID, working closely with the county and the town because we're on a town facility. To try and make sure that everything's really safe for folks. So we actually did make a decision that our main beer garden is actually not going to be covered this year. So that way we're completely out.
Wide open and air. You got your ventilation, and
It
that's really the important thing is to ventilate. I was just reading that just keeping windows open in your home or anything to kind of keep the air moving is always good. How many do you expect to come? I'm going judging from the past.
Correct. I think it's a little bit of a wild card. I
Yeah.
think, hopefully people are comfortable. I think when they see
Outside.
the measures we've taken, back in 2019, we had close to 12,000 people that day.
Get out.
It was a tremendous crowd. That's not 12,000 at any point in time. That's over the course
No, I
of the
know.
day.
You don't get them all at once, thank goodness.
We've also cut back a bit on some of the kids' activities, similar to how the kids' festival's
Yeah.
not doing face painting. Some of the stuff like the bouncy bounces where the kids would be colliding with each other, we're not going to be having those this year. We still have some slides. The town just opened they have an inclusive playground at Mowat Park.
Okay.
Opened yesterday.
Okay.
And so that's going to be available for kids. So I think that not having quite as many kids' activities probably will shorten the time that people will stay. But we're still hoping for a great turnout.
I'm sure you will, because people are looking to get out and enjoy, and they're looking for outside activities. There's no question about that. They feel more comfortable. What is your mask policy, or do you have one?
So, yeah, we're going to be publicizing. We're pushing it on Facebook as well. Obviously, standard rules. If you're unvaccinated, you need to wear the mask. We're actually encouraging anybody or everybody.
Well, I've been vaccinated, and I have to tell you, I wear a mask quite frequently. Even though I've been vaccinated, I could be a carrier.
Right.
And I don't want to be carrying this to somebody who, maybe is unvaccinated and not wearing a mask. I'm trying to think of living in a community where we're all in this together, that I have responsibility not to spread it,
Exactly. And typically our beer garden, we partner with the German American Club of Albany, and they loan us their big long picnic tables.
Is that what they do?
We love having the big long benches, but we've split those open this year.
Give a little
they're going to be
space.
mixed throughout the fields. So you're going to be able to sit at your own tables. We're going to be encouraging people to bring their own chairs. If they're more comfortable in their own chair, they can certainly
That's
do
good.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they'll hang around longer.
I hope so. We've got a great lineup of music.
I know, you were telling me about that. What's the same bands, or have you added any more?
So we've we've modified a little bit. So we've, in the main beer garden area, we've got Gregory and the Brauhaus Band. They'll be kicking off right at noon. Some great traditional.
It started right
Oktoberfest.
off, kick it off.
We're going to go hard right from the beginning.
Okay.
So they'll be out there, and then we actually do have a cruise and car show. So classic cars.
I saw that. I saw it in your ad. I think we brought it up there on the screen, yeah.
And so with it being a cruising car show, it's only appropriate to have 50s music.
Absolutely.
So this year it's Roxy and the Road Kings.
Okay.
So they'll be over in our other beer garden, the Wolf Hollow Beer Garden. They start at 1:30.
And you don't have dueling bands. In other words, one performs, then the next one comes up.
We're a little bit dueling, but they're off.
They're in different areas. Okay.
They don't really overpower each other.
Okay, good.
And then at 4 o'clock, we're gonna switch it up, and Gregory finishes up, and then we have the Bratwurst Boys. They actually come up from New York City, and they're gonna be our headliner band in
this is
the
gonna
main
be
area.
cool.
And we're actually, another thing that we're doing in addition to not having the beer garden tent, Schenectady County's been a great partner for us. They've loaned us their stage. So we're going to actually have the
wonderful.
bands elevated on the stage, so they'll project nicely out into the fields.
Wonderful.
And again, that way it's safer for the performers
Now,
and everybody.
You said 12,000. Okay, so cut that in half. I mean, for driving, I'm thinking. You know, at least 2 people in a car, okay? Where are they parking?
Luckily, we have a wonderful Malwick Park down in Glenville. We're going to have all of the, anybody that's coming to attend the event is going to come in through the western entrance. And we
The
actually.
west, oh, so there's that first entrance, and there's another entrance out further?
Correct.
Okay.
A little bit
Is
closer
that
to-
like on the hill, the top of the hill or something?
Yeah, over by Bonded Roofing.
Okay.
A little bit to the west, so if you're
Okay.
coming off the thruway, you can just take a right on Route 5 and come in that way.
Okay.
But at noon, the eastern entrance gets closed, because again, that's too close to the activities, so everybody will go in through the
Okay, so
western
you don't have a
entrance.
choice. It's not like you're gonna make a mistake.
Correct. And yeah, the Schenectady Auxiliary Police are great to help us out. Schenectady County Sheriff will be there, Town of Glenville Police, of course, and they'll be directing people in. Some people even choose to park in the Glenville Business and Technology Park and then
Why
walk
not?
across.
Yeah, walk, well,
but
that's a busy road, though, sometimes.
It is, and again, it's great having
We're
the
talking
police
about
there
Route
to help
5,
out.
so.
But yeah, we have significant parking. We can park thousands of cars in the
Yeah,
athletic
amazing,
fields.
yeah.
and
So
off them.
would, your suggestion is to come at noon and have lunch and hang out and have a good time and maybe even figure supper as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can certainly do that. We've got multiple food vendors. Again, we're focusing mainly on the German food. but
Absolutely.
But not all kids like the German food, so there's definitely going to be the hot dogs and the hamburgers,
Well,
fried
the hot
dough.
dogs, come on, where did they come from?
Yeah, it is the Frankfurter,
I
yeah.
think so. I think
good point.
Frankfurter, that is, yeah, works for me.
Yeah, we're-
But kids, they'll like the knockwurst and most of the wurst, you know, they'll like them. Put a little ketchup or mustard on them, they'll
Exactly.
eat it.
It'll be their worst day ever.
Their worst day, I know. No, it is going to be a good day, but it might be your worst day also, all right? WURST. Make sure we get that right so we don't scare anybody off. So you've got a great team that you're working with.
Great team. We've got volunteers, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you we have an all-volunteer committee that puts this event on.
That's a big, I mean, it's just like Kids Art Festival. Think about putting these events on. They're huge.
It's year-round.
Yeah.
It is year-round. We've already had conversations with title bands for next year.
For next year, good.
But we have an all-volunteer committee that works year-round, and then we have a group of all-stars. There's a sort of another level of committee that comes in for the day of the event. You know, we have, I think it's about 70 vendors that are coming in this year. So people trying to welcome them to the park, show them where they're going to be set up, help them get their materials.
Yeah, because they're going to be arriving probably at 8 in the morning to get started, get set up. And you have vendors as well that are selling, flugelhorns or whatever they sell.
We do. We've got
Steins
craft
and
vendors.
things.
Yeah, we actually, for one of the first years, we've actually got a vendor. We ran into him at an Octoberfest down in the Catskills, and he's coming with some traditional pins and different German novelties.
How cool.
So, yeah, they'll be in there amongst the other vendors.
Yeah,
and
it's
sponsors.
going to be a fun day. I mean, who doesn't like, wait a minute, do you have a dance floor?
We,
I mean, how are you going to do the German polkas and things like that?
Honestly, September 25th is the biggest wedding day of the year. That's what our tent vendors have told us. Our tents
Really?
are already up because they are booked solid. So we're going to have an area out on the grass, and again, assuming COVID doesn't require us not to have dance,
Yeah.
we will definitely have an area. We also have from Connecticut the HSV Bavaria Schuhplattler dancers. That's the traditional German dance.
Oh. Yeah.
So they'll be performing when the bands take breaks. They'll be filling
Oh,
in
how
as well.
cool
So-
that is. Well, it's an ethnic festival. I mean, the way I look at it, I love any kind of festival, whether it's a Scottish, which I went to the Scottish Games. I mean, you immerse yourself in another culture. It makes you understand more about what's happening and appreciate the foods and the music. Thank you so much for having an Octoberfest. It's just going to be fun. I can't wait.
And stay at the end because there's fireworks again.
Fireworks at the
So
end.
fireworks,
So,
yeah.
so tell them the hours. You're talking to noon to what?
So 12 to 9 is our published. Our fireworks go off a little after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because it gets darker now.
It does. It does get darker. So, but yeah, we cap it off with some loud fireworks. And right after noon, we're one of the few Oktoberfests that feature helicopter rides. So we actually
Get
have
out,
independent
you got a helicopter? Well,
We do.
well, that's a big park. Yeah, you could do that.
So we have 3 helicopters that'll take turns doing scenic flights, and again, open
Are
doors.
you talking a
masks.
real helicopter?
Real helicopter.
But the small one, that holds one person or two people?
It's a 4-seater. It's a 4-seater, so the
yeah.
pilot plus 3 passengers. Yeah.
Okay, how
So
cool
pretty
is
cool.
that? Yeah, I've been in a helicopter. It's cool. It's cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
And you're starting to get some early foliage in the valley.
Yeah, this is
really
gonna be
pretty.
cool. Oh, you've got a great event coming up, and listen, I'm going to suggest you decide to go there, because after all, it's outside, what could be safer? And wear a mask if you want to, I mean, if you should. And also think about your fellow man and enjoy the beer and enjoy all the good stuff that's there. And you have the pretzels and everything?
We've got the pretzels, we got the brats, we got everything.
What more could you ask for? Thanks, David. For
Thank you,
being here.
Ann.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. Next year,
Next year,
we're
bigger
going
and
to
better.
talk bigger and better. Great.